of Locked Up Sports.
Everybody, this is Don LaGreca from the Michael K. Show. When it comes to talking sports, Bob Walters and Brett Grasso are the authority.
Can't wait.
When it comes to talking sports, they're the authority. It's Bob Walters and Brett Grasso. It's Locked Up Sports, and it starts now.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out, hey. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out, yeah. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out, hey. Bring 'em out.
Here we go. Bob Walters, Brett Grasso from the Brian Gunzel Studios. This is Locked Up Sports. The Mets try to get back on track after a bullpen blows one yesterday. The Yankees continue to struggle as they lose again to the Blue Jays, and a blockbuster trade between the Knicks and the Nets. All going on. Brett, what is up? Welcome back.
What's going on is right. We got a lot going on. Since
you were last year, the Mets were terrible. The Mets are now in the Wildcard race.
Yeah, we were at literally our question was...
do you sell everybody or do you not?
Yeah, it was like, where does this team go from here? Because they were kind of playing a couple good games and it was like, whatever.
You know where it started? It started in London. Yeah. With that play when we were here. That was, I think, the last... Was that? No, we were here one other time. But yeah, they won.
We did talk about it, actually.
They won 16 of 20.
Yeah, it's incredible, and honestly, last night was or yesterday was a crushing loss.
Because you know what sucks is that we know that they can lose 8 out of 10, and they're 1 8 out of 10 stretch away from being right back to where they were, and that's what you can't have.
And that's kind of the question we were even asking back then was, who are they? You know what I mean? Like, where do they go from here, and who are they? And they put themselves in a weird spot because at that time they knew where they were going to go when it came to the trade deadline and probably who they were going to get rid of, and they go, oh, okay, now they have no idea.
But they're a streaky team, right? I mean, what do? They've done the whole year. They've lost 6 in a row.
Their offense has finally proven to itself what it is, and that you have so many weapons, and not every weapon has to work every night. You just need a couple of them to show up, and that's how the lineup looked to me all year, where I didn't understand why it wasn't working. And obviously everybody being in a slump, and you go Lindor, McNeil, even Alonso, even though he kind of in his own way carried the team with his mediocre stats.
Alvarez, I think, is the best player on the team.
Alvarez being out at that point, and you go, wait a minute, that's why. And then you had JD Martinez, who started off slow and didn't get a spring training, and then was showed up late, and then when he did show up, nothing was going on until all of a sudden he showed up, and that fire showed up, and that team meeting after Jorge Lopez throws his glove into the stands and tells him it's the worst team in the baseball. And and then Grimace throws out the first pitch.
Yeah,
and since then all of a sudden you have Candelita.
Yeah, we got a #1 hit song on the team.
Exactly. Oh my God, starts showing up. And I didn't even realize. It's funny, when this all started, I thought it was just a random
that was their home run song that
they were like this, some Latin rapper I've never heard of, or a singer that I've never heard of from from wherever. I was like, oh my God, like maybe it's a guy on the team.
Yeah, and Vientos.
If you don't know the story, like there's a player on the Mets.
That's a Latin rock star,
right? And now all of a sudden he has a song that's shooting up the Billboard charts.
No, it's already at the top. It can't even shoot up anymore. Now, what do you think do you think his song is really a #1 song? I haven't heard it yet. I haven't really heard it, like listened to it.
Okay.
Or do you think it's because the everything that's going on in the Mets are playing real good?
It's got a good little hook to it. Like, it's got the whole oh my God part. So regardless, if you see what happens with us is there's a whole bunch of, there's like a chorus and they're singing in Spanish. We don't know what's happening. We like the beat. We're gringos, so that's the beat. It's nice. Like, it's a good deal. But at some point, they catch it and goes, oh my God. And then you're like, oh, I know that part. I know that part. And so what I'm saying is, it's a little bit of a hype song. Since it's one of your players, it's like, oh, look, we even have a guy who's doing it. But now, he's a fringe player. He was signed to a minor league contract by the Mets. He worked his way up onto the team. Now, let me tell you, he's playing well and hitting well.
Yeah, he's in the right.
But have the Mets put themselves in a corner?
What, you can't get rid of him now because he's...
We can't DFA the guy.
No, you can. You can because he's not. It's not like he's going to go hungry, right? He's got a second career.
The clubhouse, Bob. Have you?
They love it. They have the sign. Did you see they have the OMG sign?
You know what would happen if you DFA'd the guy? The clubhouse
trade him at the deadline.
Yeah. Now, listen. Oh my God, or trumpets.
I can't deal with either one. Now, what do you think about Diaz?
It was a full concert in uniform, full concert after the game.
He just came out and sang the song.
He had the eye. No, he didn't come out like it was like he was like, oh, put my glove down, like it was the old timey days.
I think it was
give me the microphone, and then the players are all out and they're hyped up, and I'm all for it. I will take anything. I will ride. I will go. Who let the dogs out? I will ride any winning.
I love Who Let the Dogs Out.
I'm into any of it. If it works, I don't care how corny it is.
Yeah, no. When it comes to music, I'm very simple.
When it comes to winning, when it comes to winning, I don't care about the music.
I just want something that's catchy. Like to me, Chumbawamba is a great song,
right?
And people look at me like I have two heads when I say that if they're like into music, like my wife is into music, and she's like, what do you mean that's a good song? I was like, this is great, it's catchy. That's why I like Taylor Swift, because she's catchy. It's all catchy stuff. Now, yesterday's game, what?
Bullpen's a disaster. That's what we're looking for at the trade deadline.
But the bullpen hasn't been a disaster.
We have Drew Smith going for Tommy John, right?
Yep.
Brooks Rally just put on the 15-day IL today.
Adam Ottavino, did you see him call the manager an F&D bag?
Oh, yeah, that was nice.
He's on his way out. Adam Ottavino, he's got to be careful, because you know what? Because nobody cares if he's on the team or off the team. And you're going to do that, you deserve to be off the team. Because you know all the cameras are on you. You know the camera's on you, and he mouthed it. He knew it was going to get caught. But yesterday was a bad loss. Now, today's a big game. Today, you got Severino on the mound. You got to get this. You got to get this win.
Big games. You're still trying to prove yourself at this point. Well, like you're two different teams right now. How many teams? I mean, it's funny because very rarely do you see a team play so badly and then all of a sudden just decide that they're going to click and play baseball like this.
The Astros were the same way.
I was going to say the only other team that's doing that is who they're playing. We're watching the game now as it's actually about to be first pitch.
But yesterday you get a 5-run inning because that's what they've done, right? The Mets have just been hitting home runs. They hit 3 home runs a game. They score 8-9 runs a game.
Is just showing up and showing that he can hit major league hit.
He's got home runs in 4 out of 5 games.
Yeah.
He's just been killing it.
Alvarez absolutely crushing it. JD Martinez, an RBI machine when someone's on base. When's the last time you felt as a Met fan when there's a runner on base and your player comes up that you're like, oh, it's going to be, he's going to get a hit somehow. JD Martinez comes through every time. It is unbelievable what he's done for this team and taught them about hitting.
Speaking of Alvarez, there's only 2 players in the history of only 2 catchers in baseball history who have hit 30 home runs faster. Pudge and Johnny Bench.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're on a list with those 2, right?
Great guys to be associated with right there.
But the bullpen, you're right. The bullpen is going to be. It's going to be. It's going to kill this team.
You know what it is with Alvarez that you don't see in guys. It's a new generational thing, but it's a guy who all of a sudden just shows up and shows you like who he is and has that swagger to him. He has a swagger and he comes out and he has confidence, and you need that as a catcher to, especially when you were brought up. Listen, he was brought up and they said, here you go, kid. We're going to give you Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, and even earlier he's caught from Jacob deGrom and other stuff like that. I look over and go,
yeah,
this kid, no, you have to show up with some moxie and be like to become who you are. And it's that confidence that you've shown that is translated into hitting home runs, being a professional hitter, not just hitting home runs, and his attitude behind the plate. Although, if you didn't see the pass balls, and he plays a little too easy yesterday, the pitches that he missed, it were tough pitches, but he does the one-handed without blocking them, and it got away from him, and it cost him yesterday.
Yeah, listen, Alvarez is a star. He's going to be a superstar. He's going to catch it for the next 10 years, right? He's definitely going to catch it for the next 10 years.
You got to sign him early, right? You don't wait now.
No, you got to sign him.
You sign them early. These are the guys who you might be able to sign really early for not as much money as you think, that all of a sudden you're going to get crushed at some point with some of these guys.
Yeah. Now
if something like Vientos, what do you see? This guy, I'm going to tell you, Vientos is just playing good ball.
Yeah, and Vientos is good. He's come up out of the minors out of nowhere, and he's just started killing it. This scorecard right here, this is from the other night, the game that they hit 3 home runs. McNeil got the golfed one out almost.
Yep.
And that, coming off that, they got 7 runs. They were down 2-1. It was like 5th, 6th inning, and they just blew up and they just started hitting home runs. You got the Alvarez 3-run home run. I'm sorry, the McNeil 3-run home run. Yep. The Alvarez home run. The Tyrone Taylor, who I'm confusing with Tyrod Taylor all the time. I keep saying that.
Yeah.
But yesterday, McGill goes, and McGill, listen, he's got to be better than this, right? Because he settled down, and then
he started off well. He blew up.
He gave up the one inning where
he blew up in the fourth. Blew up.
After the Mets after you get a big inning like that, you can't just go back and give them a 4-run inning right back, because the Mets were going to win that game. It was 6-1.
And you know what? One of the biggest problems was they're walking guys. And it's not just McGill. It was that bullpen yesterday. And you can't just, you got to throw strikes when you have a lead like that. And I understand late in the game it wasn't like that. They were only up by 2, and it was. But if you're just... The Mets showed, because there were some errors early on by Houston, and good teams take advantage of teams making mistakes. And that's exactly what the Astros did to the Mets later in the game. We gave them opportunities, and they pounced on them. And that was it.
Yeah,
a couple pass balls, a couple walks.
Now that's fine.
One hit,
and all that's fine. If they win today, they get 2 out of 3. But the problem is the Mets,
you want to sweep. That's the game where you dominated that game early. You dominated that game early. That game should be like a much easier game. I know it's not going to work that way.
Oh, it was 6-1. I thought it was over. Especially because now you're in the Mets are winning, so you think they're going to win when they're up, something like that. Usually they blow leads like this.
They had the pitcher on the ropes. Valdez was on the ropes. He was just absolutely, as soon as he started blowing up, and as soon as it started getting in his head, he was just throwing meatballs. And the Mets were taking advantage. And all of a sudden, they, like you said, they open the door right back up and let them back in the game. Yeah, but as soon as they get Houston's within 2 runs, it's not like any other team.
The problem is the Mets dug themselves such a deep hole that it took 16 out of 20 just to get to 500. So now they're still teetering. This could still go either way.
Yeah.
This could still very much go either way. And do you want to go just to get into the playoffs and lose? If you lose in the first round, do you sacrifice, or do you trade it? They're not going to trade the deadline.
They have disaster scenarios, though. They have scenarios that look like they're going to play like they're playing, get pretty good, make it past the trade deadline, pick up some bullpen help,
and then just
probably not trade some of the guys that you thought they were going to trade, because they're like, you know what, we're going to go for it. Maybe even trade some minor leaguers, because they have some redundant minor leaguers that they may get rid of to try and pick up. What they really need is minor league pitching, is what they really need to get in return also, if they do decide to sell. But what's going to happen is, the disaster scenario is they miss the playoffs by a game. There's a very good chance it's either going to be they make it by a few games, or they miss it by a few games. Now, and talk about a mess, because right now last year they did a good job by setting themselves up, but they're still 1 or 2 pieces away from being set for the next 5 to 10 years.
Well, here's the problem: they have a bad bullpen. And that will kill a team, because you have games like yesterday.
Guess what everybody wants? Guess what every team in Major Leagues at the deadline is going to be looking for?
Well, everybody's bullpen, because
they all need bullpen help. Yes. So you're going to be. So people want an arm and a leg,
but
just
the
like
Mets
they did.
have a bad bullpen. Okay, Diaz, without Diaz, everyone talks about Diaz. Diaz was pitching a little bit better, but don't forget, just a month ago, Diaz blew 4 games in a week.
Yeah, I think
he has not pitched well.
Maybe the suspension will be a good thing for him. He'll come back rejuvenated. He might have been a little. Listen, the guy hadn't pitched in a year. He's coming off of his surgery. Maybe this is he needed a little reset.
Yeah, I guess. But he was terrible. And the rest of the bullpen is just garbage.
We need him to come around at the right time. But the fact that we've gotten this far with Diaz being as bad as he has, and haven't needed to rely on him as much as we have.
He's been better.
No, but
the last 2 weeks.
It has been a blessing. Now, let's see if we can, maybe if he can come back. That's a trade deadline acquisition right there. Come on, that's what they're saying, right?
Yeah, him and Senga, right? Is that what we're gonna get?
No, Senga. Yeah, you're right.
Senga's going down to make some rehab starts, so expect a setback this week. It's July. I listen. I made it. My prediction came true. I said it's going to be July when the doctors said 4 weeks. The Mets said 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah,
I said July.
We knew. Yeah.
Tomorrow is July 1st, right? Tomorrow or the next day. One of these days is July 1st, and he is not back. So I got that one right. Completely right, because it's just a classic Mets injury, and they need Senga, right? Because Severino is not. He's not an ace. Severino's not an ace.
What happens if you bring a guy like that? If you bring him back too early, he may even be pitching right away really well, but then they don't last through the postseason. So let's see. I like whenever a guy, ends up coming back later in the year, because they don't have as much wear and tear on him in all the other ways. Like, I know we're going to see if he can react and if he can keep putting up a start every 5 days, but don't forget, we forget very quickly how good Senga was. And if he can become what he was, or even very close to what he was, we're talking about a win every 5 days.
Yeah, he was very good last year. With an offense
that's clicking like it is now.
Yeah, but the offense is going to click.
And he's not going to be pitching innings like that.
Like he's not going to be.
He's also.
What are they going to do? They're going to have a stick. Since the very first day of the season, they've been a streaky team. They lost 6 in a row. Then they went on that 12 out of 15.
But they were overall bad, and now they're overall good.
Because they're more bad than good.
I think they're going to be one or the other. I don't think they're going to be like. You know what? There's very few times where I'm like, this streak doesn't feel like, oh, look at them getting lucky. It feels like this is what you expect out of the hitters that they have.
So you expect 9 runs a game and 3 home runs? That's asking much.
Like I said it earlier, I expect 2 or 3 of these guys to step up enough every day where when the other guys go 0 for 3 and 0 for 4, that they still are able to produce 4 to 5 runs a game.
I think the bullpen's going to kill them. It's going to kill them. And speaking of a bad bullpen, the Yankees... Now, the Mets are at least hitting, right? So the Mets are hitting and scoring runs, so they're winning games with their bad bullpen. They're winning in spite of their bad bullpen. The Yankees are losing. They can't hit. If your name's not Judge or Soto, you're not hitting. They're hitting nothing. That Subway Series, the Mets blew them out in those 2 games.
Judge is hitting, though.
Judge is having an all-time year. But you can't carry. It's not an NBA. You can't carry the team, really. Judge can't carry the team.
You can't expect him to do what he's doing at this point. He's only 2 other major league players in the history of the baseball that have ever had 30 home runs and 80 RBIs by this point in the season, and Judge is number 3.
And he was struggling early.
Yeah, and right. And but let me tell you, like, the Yankees are going to be just fine. They're in the middle of one of their big slumps of the year.
They're 25. It's still 22 games over 500.
They have all the... Listen, if this is them slumping, this is what you want to see out of a slumping team. This is how you know you're a good team, is when you're complaining about what they are. What they got to look out for is, those guys inside the clubhouse like Marcus Stroman chirping at their own fielders for not making the play right. And let me tell you, it's the one thing I hate about him the most.
Oh yeah, with Stroman? Oh yeah, but we knew that was going to happen, right? Because this is what Stroman does. Stroman, he's straight. He burns bridges. So now, did he burn the bridge yesterday? I don't think he did.
Well, Judge talked to him after. Judge took him aside and talked to him, and Stroman, he
showed up as player. Now listen, we all saw him lollipop the ball at first base. But you can't say anything on the field like this. You can't do that in your glove like that, like screaming into your glove. He showed up as player.
It wasn't even in his glove.
But then he made the big point because when Judge hit the home run, he was the first one out of the dugout. So, but does that really matter? He was the first one out of the dugout to congratulate Judge because him and Judge got into an argument in the dugout. And what happened is Judge hit a home run later. He was the first one out of the dugout to congratulate him. Yesterday, he blocked him and unfollowed him on social media.
Who blocked who?
Stroman. Judge doesn't care. Judge probably isn't even on social media that much.
Listen,
Stroman is like that. That's how he shows he's angry.
I'm telling you, Stroman's just selfish. So, like, and I understand being selfish also goes with winning. So it doesn't. Sometimes it just goes hand in hand that you're all for it and you like the selfishness.
Yeah, but he's all right. Listen, Judge did the right thing, right? He pulled him aside.
Of course.
He said you can't do that on the field. Yeah. You can't say that. You can't show up the player like that. And that was the night that they scored 16 runs. They finally broke out and got a win. And then yesterday they come back and they lose the 9-3. And if the bullpen blows up again,
I listen.
They can't hit. They can't do anything.
You see it though. It's a problem where that's what's going to happen. You knew what you signed up for when you got Marcus Stroman, and if you didn't, you were just you were turning a blind eye to it. He's very obvious about what he does. He's very passionate about how he plays. He wants to win. I get that, but he will show up his teammates and throw you under the bus in an interview and after, and talk about how great he did and how someone else caused whatever. And maybe he's right. That's not a good teammate. And so there's a certain point in the year, at the end of the year, where depending on who's pitching well, and it seems Stroman's pitching pretty well.
He's pitching all right.
I know his ERA.
He pitched well that game even. The bullpen fell apart.
Right. You're going to have a choice to have him on your postseason roster, and I just don't know. I don't know.
No, I'm sorry. They won that game 16-5.
Oh, yeah.
But what happened, now, I think the biggest problem that the Yankees have here is that Gil looks like he's full, like, his last 2 starts have been bad. So, Cole has had a bad start, too, but Cole's all right. He's going to come back. He's experienced. He just had a bad start against the Mets. He's just coming back from injury. Gil now coming off of Tommy John. He's never pitched this many innings. He went from getting his plaque chiseled out in Monument Park to now all of a sudden do we have to put him on an innings limit? He went from starting the All-Star game, Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, the trifecta, to, I don't know.
It's very hard to maintain that throughout a whole season, and you find out really quick, and that's why whenever that does happen and a pitcher comes back and does it again, we're like, oh my God, look at this guy. Like, you are, like, when someone, like, you see something like Jacob deGrom, and you see him do that for, a handful of starts, you're like, whatever. But when you see someone come and do that and then dominate for an entire season, I don't care if that's even the only season you ever do it.
Look, Cole, you give Cole the benefit of the doubt, right? He had 2 bad starts. Okay, whatever. He's going to get back. He just had 2 bad starts.
Of course.
This guy's unproven.
And plus when you have a history of not being that good. That's the problem. Is some of these guys have a history of just not being that great. And sometimes you start to change something. So you change something. You got a new pitching coach. You got a new slot delivery for your arm. You got a new pitch that you're throwing.
Yeah, but he was the best pitcher in baseball.
No, you stop tipping your pitches. There are things that... No, but I'm saying someone like Gil. No, you're right. I understand. But at a certain point, you go through those same teams again, and people get this today, nothing is hidden. The moment that someone exposes your weakness, I don't care as a hitter, when all of a sudden they realize for Jeff McNeil, where do you pitch Jeff McNeil? What is his strategy?
No, but Jeff McNeil's a batting champion.
No, but I understand that. But all of a sudden, things change quickly where all of a sudden hitters realize what your weaknesses are. They realize how to hit you better. They realize what to do. First go around is easier. That's why I always say the second time when you face a lineup, second time when you're facing teams later in the year and they know what you got already, it's much different. So you find out who's good because the pitcher needs to adjust again. And great pitchers, they're not easy to get there. It's easy to have streaks of being a great pitcher. But the reason some guys aren't great pitchers all the time is they get tired. They get weak. It doesn't last. And you know what? You're going to find out.
And he had Tommy John. He's never pitched this many innings.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden he's been terrible. And the Mets killed him. And I think it was the Red Sox killed him the start before that. So now what do you do, though? How long do you go with him? He's one of the main reasons the Yankees are where they are. Why they can have this slump and still be 22 games over 500. How long do you let him go for?
What are the Yankees going to do? Do you think they go and try and trade? What's their trade stuff going on?
Their trade stuff's going to be minus. It's going to be looking for the fans want the big guys, but it's going to be getting bullpen help just like everybody else, like you said.
Are there any starters available? That's what I didn't even know.
Not yet. You know why? Not yet, because everybody's still in the race. There's like 4 teams that are not in the race right now.
Yeah, but there should be a handful of guys that are like coming up on contracts.
Yeah, there are, but they got to be on bad teams, and there's not many teams that are more than 5 games out of the wild card. Basically, except for the Nationals, and now the Yankees, what they got to watch out for is, okay, you're doing fine, you're 22 games over 500, but the Orioles have now passed them. The Orioles won yesterday, the Yankees, they're now a game and a half up on the Yankees. The Orioles are a good team, every bit as good as the Yankees. So if they go on a 8 out of 10 and the Yankees go 3-7 again, the Yankees have lost now 8 of 11. They've lost 10 of 13 games. The Yankees have lost 10 of 13. I mean, that's not... You start now, then now you're coming close to half a month.
Yeah, this is
playing bad.
But this is when you want to be bad. And
you're right.
This is when you want to be bad, and you gotta. This is when someone that you have a good manager too. And so when you have a good manager that knows what's going on, they can honestly tend to get you through, a couple bad weeks. When you have a guy like Aaron Judge, you're going to win at least 1 out of every 3 games just because of Aaron Judge. When Juan Soto, hopefully he comes back from injury for them pretty quickly because it looks like he's going to be out. He's out of the lineup today. We'll see how long his hand keeps him out for. But once you have guys like that, and
yeah, the X-rays were negative.
The Yankees are going to be fine. They put themselves in a position where they can just hang around, and the way that the playoff system's set up now, when you have a good hot early start, you kind of put yourself in a position.
How did he hurt his hand here? Like he stopped, and halfway down the line he stopped. He somehow
the glove came down on it.
Is that what it was?
It looks like the glove came down. I didn't know either until if you take a look at that one again, because it looks like the glove came down.
I think that's exactly what happened. Let's see. It goes, but you see how he stops halfway down the base. He hesitates. Like, what are you doing? You're already too late.
No, not really.
Yeah, it did come down on it, but it's not enough to break your hand, right?
No.
I think they just do they do X-rays no matter what to be sure.
I think he's just weak.
He said the Yankees are so good.
Weak boned.
Think about how good the Mets have been over the last 3 weeks, right? And how bad the Yankees have been over the last 2 weeks. And in that time, if that was the only games of the season, the Mets are still like 12 games behind the Yankees.
Yeah, but you can't help yourself. And you got like who was I saw like Tim Saliani post something this week about about Mets fans chirping.
Yeah.
By the time we hit 500, we're all celebrating. There's a concert in center field.
Well, they made,
and all of a sudden we made 500. This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I don't like the Grimace. I don't like the concerts. Like, we shouldn't have impromptu concerts with the guys singing after the game. Like,
no,
it's corny.
It was rough.
The whole thing is corny. And if he has a good song, great for him. And let them play it when they hit home runs, and let them play it in the locker room. But don't be out there in your uniform singing Latin love songs or Latin techno. After the game, before the fireworks.
This is what was confusing to me is, what if they lost? Was he going to go out?
No, it was impromptu. It was like, we won the game. Here's a mic.
Are you sure?
I think so.
I think he was going out either way. I think it was like, that was his like video release that day.
Well, he pushed up the release.
Right.
He pushed it up. It was supposed to be like later this year.
I think they were going to go out there in a loss.
No, I think it was impromptu.
But it would have been more subdued, like, oh my god.
I think it was completely impromptu.
It would have been like, oh my god. It wouldn't have been as exciting.
They won that game, and he got some big hits, and like it was not a planned concert. I guarantee it was not a planned concert.
Oh, that was so planned.
Severino just gave up a home run, so Mets down now 1-0. Severino's another one. That's why we need Zenga back, because Severino could go south at any moment. The bullpen stinks.
Wind's blowing out.
They're not going to hit like this forever. So I don't know what to do, but I enjoy it is what we got to do, right? Enjoy it while we have it. The Mets, they gave us a season now. We have a season. We still got to make it 3 more weeks.
Just stop being so excited about the Yankees slump.
No, I did.
You get too excited about the Yankees.
Yeah, because they don't have any of these. And how excited could you really get?
No, because because then it makes it so much worse when they play well, Bob.
But they've had this slump. They're 22 games over 500.
I know, but like you just. Stop! Just let it happen. Maybe one of these years they'll stay in the slump.
They did, man. They had a couple of years.
They never stay in the slump, Bob. So just like let's just see if they stay in the slump one year.
They're not going to stay in the slump this year. They're not going to. They can't because they're 22 games over 500. They can slump for another month and still not be as bad as the Mets.
You're definitely right. So just. Don't forget, all that matters is who makes the playoffs, because it's just embarrassing if we're with the concerts
and the light shows.
And look how great the Mets are.
And the light shows.
And at the end of the rainbow, we don't even make the playoffs, and they do.
Grimace.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. I'm sorry. Like, this is not our year. We thought we were out of it a couple weeks ago. Let's just enjoy this.
Yeah. No, that's what you're right. That's what we have to do.
Let's not get on the Yankee side, because then it gives them ammunition to ruin our good time. All right,
no matter what.
No. We're just Bob.
We beat them.
Give me July. Give me July.
So what? I can't say anything. They blew them out in 2 straight games.
If the Mets are in it and the Yankees slump a little bit, and we're like kind of getting close to each other, by the time August rolls around,
not gonna be close to each other.
By the time August rolls around, then we can start.
But we just swept them. And we killed them in both games.
We won 2 baseball games versus another team. First of all, a 2-game sweep isn't a 2-game sweep.
Isn't a sweep? It's not a sweep.
It's not. No. And I don't want to hear it because you didn't care about Subway Series the last time we were on these microphones. You didn't care about Subway.
No, I don't care. You're right. I don't care about
sweep like it matters.
You're right. But you know what's good is Citi Field's back alive, right? They're not just. It's not just like nobody there.
It's funny you say that because you just reminded me of. I just saw I wish I had it. We should have put it up. It's a video of it feels like I'm in a third world country.
Oh, I've seen it.
Did you see it? And it's Citi Field on the left, and they're driving through the auto, repair shop.
No, yeah, it's 2 guys at the game.
No,
not that one.
No, it's a guy driving through just outside of the parking lot, but they're in where the repair shops are. Where
the chop shops.
It looks like the worst area you'd ever want to be in
I had to get my tire changed there. Last week, I got a flat tire.
You know what they do? They go pop the game. They pop them at the game.
Well,
they used to. I'm telling you.
Back
in the Shea days, you'd come in, they'd break your windshield.
But you pulled,
and they replace it right there. There'd be a guy right there, be like, I got it.
No, you pulled down that road, and they're all waving you to different shops.
No, but that's what it used to be. MLB, they used to do that during a day game. You'd leave a day game, and it was known for
flat
tires and broken windshields, and they'd have the perfect replacement windshields right there.
Outside.
They'd be like, "Wait, we got you 5 minutes. New windshield, new windshields, four tires, yeah."
It's shady. The whole thing.
It
is
was
shady.
like
I
that.
was over there.
That was a well-known thing back then.
And what happened was I got the flat tire, and it was like 6 o'clock at night, so nobody was there. I left my car there overnight.
Okay.
Because one of the guys was like, "Come over here." You know, he was still there. He's like, "I'll have it fixed for you tomorrow." And I'm like, "I'm going to show up, and this thing's going to be on cinder blocks."
Yeah.
He did it though. And what I did was I talked him down. I told him
bad business otherwise.
Here's what I told him. My trainee was like going with the car a little bit, and I was like, "I'm thinking I'm going to be selling this thing in another month or two." He's like, "All right, listen, I'll give you a deal on the tires, but you got to promise that you sell it to me." I was like, "Absolutely, I promise." I didn't even sell it.
No problem.
Absolutely
Sold.
So this week we also had, and listen, the Knicks making news this week. The Knicks and the Nets.
The new look Knicks.
They're not. Listen, it was a great trade.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, maybe you're adding on from last year's. They're the new look Knicks, but give me a break. Like, this is a different. I'm sorry, it's more the front office. I think I'm talking about than I am. No, but this when's the last time they ever acted like this?
Well, they made it. They signed a big contract with OG. They did
no,
this
but
trade.
like, no, but where they were like this right now, they were like they see where they're at. They're like see how close they are, and there's a lot of picks they traded for Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, but they're picks they're gonna be. The Knicks are gonna be good, right? So those aren't gonna be high picks. The Knicks are gonna be good now. They're late first rounders.
No, you're right.
Late second round picks.
I think it's. And if you look at who's in those rounds, if you go back into every NBA draft and go look, do you know how many of those first rounders pan out? Not that many.
Yeah, not many of them.
They're the ones who do pan out. They're the most likely to pan out. But most of those guys, like you couldn't even right now name one of the top 3 picks in the NBA draft this year.
No, yeah, I can. It was the kid from. What about? Wasn't it the kid from UConn?
You couldn't tell me which country they came from.
No, from France.
All right, I'll give you France.
But the kid from UConn went high. And what do you think about LeBron's kid? LeBron's kid can't play for UConn.
Yeah,
and if he didn't get LeBron basically was like, "I want you to draft my kid." He wouldn't be able to play on UConn. He wouldn't start on UConn. And if you can't start on UConn, you can't play in the NBA.
You draft my kid, and I'll play for you.
Yeah,
it's the worst case of nepotism.
It's a bad look.
You know what? It's a bad look for.
And LeBron tries to sell it. He's like, he's better than some of the guys I played against. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not an NBA player. He wouldn't
be. It's a bad look for JJ McCarthy.
He wouldn't start for UConn. He wouldn't start for a couple teams.
For a brand new coach with no head coaching experience.
JJ Redick. And what do you think about him coming out in the press conference and dropping an F-bomb right off the bat? Like, he's a kid. You know what? JJ Redick is the classic Duke guy that you hate. Like, who do I hate from Duke? Put a picture of JJ Redick up there.
I think it's just funny that how delusional Lakers fans are, or maybe even LeBron is, or maybe, and I don't think JJ Redick's delusional. I think he knows what he's getting into. I think he knows that he's got to pretend like he's got this championship team.
His coaching experience is like a 13-year-old CYO team.
Yeah, but he doesn't have it. He knows what he's in for. He's in for the long haul. He's using LeBron as an in to be the Lakers coach beyond LeBron.
I think he's in for 3 years, and they suck, and he's fired.
I think there's a chance that he hangs around after LeBron for whatever reason. If he can catch on, and they like him, they're like that. But this team that they're not going to have a chance. They're not going to have a chance to compete.
No,
it's embarrassing that Bronny is now on their team. They're talking like, is he going to be playing there, or is he going to be playing for their over in the the D League?
Yeah, the G League.
The G League.
No, he's gonna be on the Lake. No, he's gonna be on the Lakers. He's gonna be starting on the Lakers, I think.
But they don't. And now LeBron's got to sign for. He just opted out because he needs to resign for something cheaper. They have no money left.
But he's not
signing. No, they have no money left.
Yeah, but he doesn't care. Because the money's coming in anyway.
No, but they don't have. They're not. They have no money left to sign any other people.
But they'll make room for LeBron.
Like even for Bronny.
LeBron just came off the ledger, right?
LeBron, that's the point. They have. That's the whole thing. Is since they have to pay Bronny James his not much.
No,
you know what I mean?
Not
much at all. He's going to get a little bit, but LeBron James has got to take something reduced because they're in trouble when it comes to who they're going to pay and what they're going to do. It's just interesting to see what a mess over there.
It's about and JJ Redick. It's the worst job to take for JJ Redick, and I hope he fails miserably because he's just a jerk, right? He's a jerk. He's the classic Duke. I hate Duke.
See, I don't hate him. I don't hate him.
Did you see him curse when the reporter asked him a question?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't effing care about that. You know, like, what do you? Come on. In your press conference, introductory press conference, is that really a professional thing to do? I'm not against cursing or anything, but come on.
No. Listen, I don't know.
Just hawk to it. Just spit on that thing.
Oh yeah, that's how we keep it classy. That's funny though.
But the Knicks, listen, Mikal Bridges he's not a star player. He's not a big name. He's not a superstar. He's never made an all-star team, but he's the perfect fit for the Knicks team.
He's never missed a game ever.
Now they're full Nova.
He's never missed a game ever. College, high school, NBA, he is perfect attendance.
Should they just go and get Jay Wright to coach?
See, no, we need Tibbs now. Let me tell you, Thibodeau is the perfect coach for this team. And now that you have the two best defenders, probably, they're talking about the best pair of defenders in all of basketball. So now when you bring out and you have your best two wing players, which are typically your guys who are just like going to smoke you all game and you're going to have to have somebody on them all game, good luck because you got nowhere to go.
Would you have given OG a $212 million contract? He barely played last year.
He showed how valuable he was, and that's what they get paid now. And you have to realize, if you're not willing to go out and give people these max contracts, somebody else is. And there's somebody else that's worse that's going to come play for you, and you're going to save a couple $1,000,000. And you're still going to spend now all of a sudden $170 million on someone who sucks. That's what happens.
Probably right. You're right.
No, because you got to spend the $210. Because if you don't, you get some crap for $170 of a guy who's Paul George is about to show up. People were like, get Paul George. The worst thing the Knicks could have ever done is signed a 35 or 36-year-old Paul George to a 4-year, $200 million contract. You guys are out of your mind.
Yeah, no, and OG's good, but he gets hurt a lot. He's not around. He didn't play last year.
But the team they're formulating, and I really
they're going to lose Hartenstein.
We don't know that yet.
No, I think someone's going to give him more money. He's going to make $20 million a year.
I don't know.
Knicks can't give him $20 million a year.
You may be right, but I don't know. We're going to see.
What about Randall?
Randall for now is on the team.
Oh, yeah, he's on the team.
For now is on the team, but he is going to have to accept a very different role than I think he wants to. There is not going to be a give Randall the ball and see what happens offense happening anymore.
Randall's now on the downside.
And if he doesn't accept it, and we think we talked about this.
Yeah, same thing.
I was like, if he doesn't accept it, they're going to ask him. And I swear they're going to ask him. If not, it's going to be see you later. He loves New York. He has his family here. He does not want to leave New York for 1 second. And honestly, he's a good teammate when he's not hurt and he's on the court. And I really believe if he can make it fit, that may be the key to someone like them in certain situations. When you go up, the Knicks showed you in the playoffs this year, when all of a sudden the matchup changed and it wasn't good for them, that's a time where you may need a Julius Randle. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Randall's a good player.
No, but there may be a time where the offense totally shifts in a series and Julius Randle is the focus of the offense, and that may be what we need in any game or any given series, that you need that next gear where other teams can't just be your team, that's the only team we play, and when we don't match up well, all of a sudden, oops. Like, you have to be able to change your game plan really quickly.
Can they win the championship this year?
Yes.
I think outside chance.
We can talk about all the the outside things that come with it, with getting hurt and all the other stuff. But you know what happens is someone on the other team gets hurt. Sometimes there's the year where it even happened to the Celtics this year on the way to their title, where the other superstars got hurt along the way.
All the other teams.
And you look and you go, listen, along the way, the Knicks need to get lucky in their own way. Other teams are floundering right now. It's not a bad time. Like, the Bucks aren't the Bucks like we thought they were about to come up and be. The Celtics are the only team that is like head and shoulders above everybody else. But
Denver's good too.
No, you're right. I was kind of focusing on the East, but no, Denver and those teams didn't play up to their potential. There's a good chance that you look at what Luka and Kyrie did, if they can have a couple more pieces of what they have going on. But I really believe that if the Celtics, they are one injury away or one player from losing away, that all of a sudden, if one of their two, Tatum or Brown, is out, they're not the same team.
How about Brown? He's the guy. He's had NASA tried to sign him. He's the smartest guy. Like, he's the youngest player to ever be the president of the Players Union.
Do you think that
he was giving speeches on robotics?
Do you think
at Harvard?
Do you think Jason Tatum is cringing deep down that Brown won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He won the Finals MVP. He's getting now he's getting the accolades for the first time, and deservedly so. He deserves it. But do you think Tatum feels, I did everything, this is great, I'm 100% happy, I won my championship, I'm on cloud 9, or do you think that he's
No, I think
or he's just happy, he's genuinely happy for his friend, or do you think he's thinking...
I don't think they care about the MVP as much as you think they do. Did you see how
fake it was? Did you see? Was it not the fakest?
No, I don't think it was fake.
The fakest post-game reaction I've ever seen was him with his rehearsed. I remember what he said. He did his Kevin Garnett version of winning the championship, and it was so fake to me.
Hey, listen, he won his championship, right? He got over the hump. They could very well win it again next year if they play well. And forget about everything with the Celtics. The person you never hear, which is a remarkable story out of nowhere, is Brad Stevens.
Oh, yeah.
Butler coach. 10 years ago, Butler coach came in, was the Celtics coach, decided to go into the front office. He's one of the great front office guys now in the NBA.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant basketball mind, and he started coaching Butler. And if Butler doesn't go to the Final Four those 2 consecutive years, he never even gets a chance.
That's the type of stuff in an organization, when an organization recognizes how valuable or how smart of whatever that sport is.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
And I am hoping that someone like David Stearns is that guy for the Mets. I don't know. We don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know.
No, we don't know.
You won't know for 5 years.
And you don't know about Brad Stevens with that, because Brad Stevens had his issues, and he realized where.
Not really.
No, but
look who he hired as the coach.
No, I know, but as the head coach, he.
No, I'm saying look who he hired.
Oh, I know.
He hired a guy with no experience. That just coached the Lakers to a championship. Now, you could say that you could have coached.
They went through turmoil with that team.
Yeah, remember the coach got fired.
That was the coach that was their whole future, and then having to switch. And they may have won back-to-back titles if it wasn't for that. You never know, but you're exactly right. I'm sorry. Someone like that is brilliant. He is clearly a basketball genius.
Are the Celtics more a bigger? Championship franchise in their history than the Yankees? They have less championships, but they've done it in a lot less time. When you think Montreal Canadiens, you think UCLA with their titles, you think Yankees, Celtics.
Yeah.
Are the Celtics? Do you think? I think the Yankees is probably. I still we hold. Maybe it's because we're in New York.
No.
If you say what's a better franchise all time, Yankees or Celtics? The numbers say Celtics.
Yeah. The Celtics have a the numbers say Celtics. Yeah, I would say so.
Because they've only been playing basketball since the baseball they've been playing since 1900.
No, I know. I think it's a tough one to compare, but I think the Yankees, because it's a New York thing, and we hear it for them. Let me tell you, you're gonna get every person in New York to say the Yankees, get every person in Boston to say the Celtics, and then they're gonna fight about it and bloody each other's noses. That's what's happened, and that conversation has happened every year between two friends and
What'd you think about the debate? Is Biden screwed?
Is Biden screwed? Bob,
you can't even.
Bob, it was so horrible. It was to so watch.
Bad. He's got to be replaced, right?
No. I like that. I'm here for the jokes now. At this point, I'm just here for the jokes. I'll take it.
So
I know.
It's so bad.
He tried so hard. You
can't run him out there. You can't run him out there like that.
No. You know what? I blame.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it live. So I saw it since. But I asked them. I was like, "How bad was it?" And they were like, "Worse than you could ever imagine."
I blame his wife, Jill. I am sorry. You're a bad person.
And there's no excuses for it, right? It was bad. It was everything. And the best part,
there's a very clear excuse.
He's
the
old.
guy at the end. The worst video I've ever seen in my life is him trying to get off the one-step stage after. So they have the video where nobody had seen it, and then all of a sudden it comes out and someone took a videotape from the back corner, and it's him trying to get down 1 4-inch step, and Jill holding him. No, and he's like this, and he was like,
but why can't...
It's after the debate. It's bad news.
Why can't we put up... Because obviously Trump's a disaster too, but why can't we put up someone who's 4, like Obama or like Kennedy? What? Why does it got to be 60 and 70 years old?
The plane crashed.
What plane?
John F. Kennedy Jr.
That's why. He's coming back. He's going to be Trump's vice president.
That's why. If that plane didn't crash, that's what happened.
Yeah, but there's got to be somebody. We got Obama since, right?
You ever see the butterfly effect?
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, we know about. We talked about the butterfly effect. But that you tell me JFK Jr.'s plane crashed, and that's what happened to Biden the other night.
He would have taken. It would have been. What would have happened?
What about Buttigieg? Are we not ready? Are we not ready? We got to be ready, right? For a gay president, they could have a gay president now, right?
We have to be ready this month, regardless of what our true thoughts are. We have to. It's this month. Yes, we are 100%. This country's ready.
Oh God!
The other 11 months, they're not ready.
That was just. It was a disappointing thing for me because it was so bad. But anyway,
I'm glad. No, we're not done because we can talk about sports with that. So they talked about golf, and it's so great. And Biden missed the greatest opportunity because Trump comes out and he goes, do you know how great a shape I'm in? He's like, I won 2 club championships this year at my golf champion. He goes, not senior championships. He goes, 2 regular club championships. And for Biden to not totally pounce on the fact that
he cheats.
Yes, that he's a cheater and a liar was the craziest thing to me because I was like, everybody has seen the videotapes of him, of the other guys. They're not allowed to beat him. It's a rule. There's a rule, like it's a Putin type of rule. Where you're not allowed to beat him or else you're out of the club.
Yeah,
you understand?
And we've seen him shoot, right? He hits it like 100 yards on his drive, 125
Trump's
yards.
a good golfer.
He's not.
Trump's a good golfer.
I wouldn't say he's a good golfer.
No. Trump is a good. I'm not. Listen, I'm not going to give him any credit for anything else. I'm not a fan. Like it's not my thing. I'm not a fan of. No, I'm not a fan of Biden. I'm not a fan of Trump.
Would you say he's a 10 handicap or less? He's not.
I think he's less.
No, I don't think.
I think there's a chance he's less. I'm serious. The guy can drive the ball 250 yards. He hits irons perfectly straight. No, he fades them. No, I'm telling you, he's like this. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And I think he's getting old to the point of like where it's probably not like that.
Yeah, but we've all played with the old guy who he hits it 100 yards, but he hits it straight, and we're all over the place.
Putts, he's legit in the contention every year in the championship. It's the only reason it holds water.
But he says he shoots
like 65s. The only reason it holds water is because he's that.
But he says he shoots like 65s.
He definitely is at the point where he's not hitting something on a root, he's kicking it.
Yeah.
That stuff's where how he gets there is different, but he can hit a good shot. That's all I'll give you.
All right. We'll give that.
The only credit you're going to hear this year until after November.
I got a train to catch. If I miss the train,
I got work falling apart right now.
Oh, is it? Yeah. So that does it for us here. Don't forget, rate, review, and subscribe. You see our social medias down there. We also got a TikTok, which is probably the best one. I don't know why I didn't put the TikTok, but we also had, real quick, I wanted to mention, we had a special birthday. Brian Gunzel. A heavenly birthday, a heaven birthday. He died. He died a while ago, but this week was his birthday. I was looking through pictures, Brett. I saw the prom pictures, and you know what? He kept everything, Brett. He's got every Bayman weekly thing. He's got the scorecards. Let me tell you, from all of our little league games. He's got the batting averages.
He actually even kind of like me and him. We kind of got me into doing that too, because I remember going to Gunzel's house and him having everything, because he was very like organized about it. Like everything he had was like nice, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't just like thrown together or whatever.
He was weird like that,
but he would label like every little thing. So we'd have like cards around his room, and I remember it would be like, his favorite Red Sox card would be like Roger Clemens, and you put like
he's got graded
but he
cards.
had he had like little labels on it with like their names of like what the nickname was on them, and he had all that stuff.
There's pictures of I was gonna bring him today, I forgot him, but there's pictures of me, you, and him. There's pictures of you and him, and there's pictures of Frank is in there.
Awesome.
And then he's got a letter that I typed to him when I was 9 years old in 1990 when he was moving to Florida.
Yeah, down to Oviedo.
I was like, please don't move, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, like, to keep that, imagine
he's like that. I know. And that's the same thing. Like, his mom, he had the pictures that he had saved. It was us going around doing the earth science thing. And it's pictures of us at the lighthouse and wherever else and all the other stuff. and I hadn't seen him very like some of my favorite.
I'll bring him over next week. They're great. I'll bring him over next week. And he's got like cards that are graded. Like who gets cards? I didn't think anybody really got the cards graded.
Well, yeah,
graded.
It depends if they're like a decent card.
No, but he was the guy who sent it out to get graded.
Oh yeah, people are doing it now. Like people are doing it now for money. Like it's like if you have a good card, you can actually make good money if it's graded. That's the whole thing.
I got the 75th anniversary NFL coin.
Oh,
in a case.
No, he had all the coolest stuff. Let me tell you, like so many. I guarantee you, there's so much stuff that it pained him to throw away. He loved that stuff so much. Like we had like his little. He was like an
organized hoarder.
His little football rug.
Yeah.
Giant, it was like
he was. You know what he was? He was
like organized plays.
Organized hoarder. Yeah. He would organize. He was an organized hoarder.
No, like everything.
There's an article with there's an article about. A baseball game that he played in, and it's a final of a tournament from Sayville, right? Yeah. Sayville baseball, and McGordy. It's about John McGordy's. He's mentioned in it how he got a base hit and he scored the winning run. Yeah. And I was reading, I was like, oh, this is great stuff. And then you know who got the winning hit? And I was pissed off that I even read it. Ryan Jenkins.
Oh, Jenkins
ripped a double up the line to get a bait to win it, a walk off.
Jenkins. I remember Jenkins hitting a home. I could never pitch. I would pitch because we all pitched in Little League. But I remember playing senior ball and
he would hit a lot of home runs.
Oh, forget it. I was like trying to.
Nobody hit it over that.
I was just trying to get it over the plate, and like the guy's crushing like a 400-foot home run, like a grown man at 12 years old.
And unfortunately, there's nobody celebrating Biden's demise harder than Jenkins this week.
Yeah. No, it's finally the country unified around one thing, and let's save that old man.
Oh God,
we finally are not divided anymore.
So anyway, happy birthday to Gunzel.
Love you, buddy.
Love you. So that's it, Brett. Next week, you're gonna be here next week. You're on vacation. What are you doing?
I'm kind of off all week. So 4th of July, everybody have a happy 4th.
Happy 4th of July.
Celebrate safely. No drinking and driving. We're hanging out with our buddy Russo tomorrow.
Mets top of the 4th, trail 1-0. Yankees up 4-0. Second inning. So it looks like maybe they're coming out of the slump already, Brett. So that for Brett Grasso, I'm Bob Walters. Don't forget, rate, review, and subscribe. Every little bit helps. We'll see you next week, everybody. See ya.